lucky enough to be penning this brief audiovisual exercise on a train making its way from Paris towards Amsterdam. Now I bring this up not to flex on you, my dear viewer, but because in order to contextualize the journey we'll be taking in a wee bit, you have to know that I've been seeing a lot of cool ass shit. People, places, poetry and palaces, art, architecture, jewelry, jazz clubs and women. Whew, definitely some fine women. And as I've been gazing at this cool ass shit, I consistently find my mind wandering to three things. The first is my brothers and sisters back home, whom I miss dearly. The second is my dutiful travel companion and current musical fascination, the one and only Miss Lauryn Hill. And the third, because of course it is fucking One Piece and my 6'2" multi-armed Russian muse, Nico Robin. And yes, because nothing can ever exist in a vacuum when it comes to me, I've managed to cobble them together into the most harebrained panorama of exploration, friendship, discovery, and self-love that a talented young Ibby could muster. Walk with me, won't ya? I'm gonna be very upfront and let you know that I'm a bit dense. I'm known to dabble in the ancient arts of duncecraft and dipshittery, and nowhere is that more apparent than when I'm freshly consuming stories, even ones I enjoy, cause I might not fully get it on the first go around. And that's certainly the case for Nico Robin and the arc she undergoes during Water 7 and Annie's Lobby. For the longest time, I wasn't quite sure what to make of Robin. On one hand, she's a character who had some of the most compelling mystique we've seen up to this point in the series. And on the other, well, this bitch was an op! When she joins the Straw Hats, she does so in the most suspect way possible. She was just linking with Crocodile, talking about some casual warmongering and breakfast with a side of genocide. But the second Croco Crody gets chipped, she's on to the next, fiending for that monkey D like some type of neighborhood bouncer? Sure, she's clearly intelligent and fine as hell, but as far as I was concerned, this was a trifling hoe. The latest incarnation of the white woman devil, come to infiltrate the ship, entice mutiny and chaos, and probably corrupt my son Chopper into an alphabet mafia goon while she was at it, I don't know. And then from there, all of a sudden, Shawty's a vibe. She's a delight, soaking in some rays on the sun deck, sipping martinis, tanning in boutique bikinis, contributing to the mission, cataloging poneglyphs, practicing some light cock and ball torture on Frankie, and looking damn good while doing it all. She very quickly becomes this voice of reason, this comforting big sister, and maybe this says more about me, but I just didn't buy it. I was so convinced that there was some ulterior motive here, some foreboding long con that would have huge implications for the story. So much so that when the layers were pulled back and all is revealed, only for this woman to be a relatively straight shooter with a messy past, sure, but genuine love for the people she considered friends, that left my little pookie dookie brain all confused and conflicted. I still adored Robin as a character, don't get me wrong, but there was a significant disjoint in the progression of her arc in my mind. Y'all are gonna hate me for this, but I remember telling the smelly, bandless, degenerate One Piece glazer who was watching with me at the time that Nico Robin's connection to the Straw Hats, her outcry and anguish at being separated from them during the events of Water 7 felt too sudden for me, that for some reason I felt a disconnect from the material, and while I could accept the result, the way it was achieved left a bit to be desired. But I'm here to put my pride aside, renounce those blasphemous words, and say that I was dead fucking wrong. Yes, it's true that Robin's acceptance of the Straw Hats isn't entirely explicit. She doesn't always express it. You'll see her hanging out in the back of scenes, quiet, contemplative, sticking to corners and edges, observing but never fully indulging in what's going on. There's a clear guard there, a tendency to keep everything and everyone at arm's length, one that can be quite deceptive, leaving me questioning what about this woman was sincere, when in reality, homegirl was just hurt. I saw her as a sort of spider on the wall, one weaving her own motives and machinations in a web that I couldn't see, but I was damn sure the Straw Hats would run into sooner or later. But when I re-examine these interactions, it's so much easier to parse through that facade and watch her heart melt in real time. You see it in every prolonged glance she steals at the homies, every thanks she offers Sanji for an act of service, every sister session with Nami or mother session with Chopper, or every courtesy laugh she breaks out in response to one of Usopp's shitty ass chokes. Like come on, Shawty spends half her time on the boat looking like she softly whispers, "Ah, I needed this," after a hard laugh with the gang. Looking back on it now, of course she loved these people. This is a woman whose entire existence is coached in the fact that she is a burden to her loved ones and homeland, being the catalyst for their deaths and demise, a burden to others, the so-called crewmates and partners she meets along the way who cheat and sell her out, a burden to a government who'd see her brutally murdered because her very existence is a threat to theirs, a burden to the very world itself that at every turn cast her down with a reminder that she has no place in it. And all of a sudden, she's confronted with a promise that's been offered to every Straw Hat at one point or another, but feels most poignant here, a promise that she'll be loved, cared for, and protected by people who genuinely want her around. She's not entirely sure what to do with it. How do you respond to a promise that rejects everything you've ever perceived yourself as? The brilliance of One Piece is that it's built on promises, both between the characters and with its audience. And in the same way, I don't think Robin truly believed this promise at first. I didn't have the experience to understand it. Luckily, however, some sense was knocked into both me and her. Because when you actually set off into the world, when you're surrounded by people who honestly and truly want to eat, drink, quip, dance, giggle, create, or even just enjoy the day in each other's company, you can't help but fall for them. If my personal travels have taught me anything, it's that exploring new parts of the world with a homie or family or anyone you fuck with heavy can teach you a whole lot about them and yourself. Like my gender non-conforming, cunt-serving, prison-swerving goat Bon Clay said, friendship is weighed on the quality of time spent, not the quantity. Robin is not just getting to know these people, she's visiting vistas and landmarks, she's peeping whole ass new civilizations and cultures with them, facing figures from fantasy and folklore, and finally, for the first time, indulging in the finer things in life. All the while exchanging those experiences with the most endearing group of dickheads and misfits on the high seas. Of course you bond over that reciprocity. Nico Robin, if you'll allow me to be a bit on the nose, was miseducated. She was long taught that she served no purpose, had no place, and could take comfort under no banners. But due to the kindness of a few strangers turned friends, she learns a lesson I get reminded of time and again. The world is a beautiful place, filled with splendor and majesty, laughs, lessons, good people, even better food, and big booty bitches. We're long schlong men, shit, we all got needs. And we're meant to share that space with motherfuckers on the same wavelength as us, who will make sure we keep our head high, back straight, toes planted, and eyes forward towards whatever joys await us next. Cause I mean, what else is there really worth living for?
You live for me, care for me. You said you care for me, there for me. Said you be there for me, cry for me. You said you die for me, give to me. Why won't you live for me, care for me? You said you care for me, there for me. Said you be there for me, cry for me. You said you die for me, give to me. Why won't you live for me, care for me? You said you care for me, there for me.
Good morning, class. Professor Ibby here, hoping you found today's lesson stimulating and satisfying. And if you want other people to get that opportunity, liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing this here joint with a homie go a long way towards spreading Ibbycation to the masses. You can also join the overachievers and teachers' pets over on Patreon if you feel so inclined. Thanks a bunch, for real. This video was so fun to do. I really think it's one of my best concepts, and the script came together so beautifully while I was abroad. The trip was sick, Europe was gorgeous, and getting to live my girly little cafe, jazz club, and fashionista dreams out in Paris for like a week was a top experience of my life. Appreciate all of you who wish me well. As always, I wish I was faster with this one, but the Elden Ring DLC got in my way. I had a fucking blast with it. Finally got around to Dungeon Meshi with a buddy of mine, and it's been keeping me well fed. Y'all were not kidding, this show bangs. Other than that, I don't got that much going on. I got a job at a little coffee shop, which is, ooh, exciting. I'ma be a beautiful little barista boy and pop my shit while doing it. Oh shit, I also get to see Lauryn Hill live like next week, which really shows that this was meant to be. Okay, dismissal bell's ringing, so I'ma let you go. I'm keeping it keeping it breezy and sensual and fresh, and I sincerely hope you're doing the same. Summer's almost over, gang. Make the most of it, and until I catch you again, have yourselves a damn good one. That's me giving you slop. Don't report me to the school board. I love you!